Hello, I am Donny, and I am the cute one.
And I am Chelsea, and I am the cute one.
TGIF, cuties. Dun, da, da.
Woo! And I know, Donny, you want to start doing this like Regis and Kelly bit at the top. Why don't you just talk? Why don't you tell the cuties about your weekend? Because I feel like you've lived 10 lives, and I painted some more doors. So why don't you tell them about your week? Because I've done nothing.
I would love to. So my weekend was so eventful that we're recording this Wednesday. I went back to the theater job on yesterday, Tuesday, and someone was like, I haven't seen you in a week. And I was like, what did I do last week? And like my events started last Wednesday. I did the Survivor Party Wednesday. Then I did the Andy Cohen Happy Hour Thursday. Then Kendrick came to town on Friday, and we hung out with Tom and Kix and Nor. Then my sister's bachelorette party was Saturday. And then I ate at Red Robin on Sunday.
The grand finale. Yeah. The cherry on top.
I had to do something before I left my hometown.
No, you literally were that Lady Gaga quote, club, club, another club, club. And I was like, well, here's this door I painted.
No, but they were all so good. You do a great job at painting doors.
Thanks.
And various shades, too. Kept me on my toes.
I know. So many colors.
Now, I feel like the cuties will want to know the most about the Andy Cohen Happy Hour.
Yeah.
It was fun. But I feel like it depends what you wanted from the event. If I was still in my Know That era and like a big Bravo head and I went, I don't think I would have been satisfied because Andy and who's that Summer House guy that was there?
Jesse Solomon.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So at Happy Hour, Andy Cohen was advertised to be there.
What was the name of the event? Like, what did you think you were going to?
A Fresca, those like Fresca spiked drinks or whatever. A Fresca Happy Hour hosted by Andy Cohen.
Okay.
So Jesse Solomon and one of the Summer House Martha's Vineyard girls were both there as like a treat. So they were extra. But then Andy Cohen and both of them were behind the bar just giving out these cans. So like, when you're with a real bartender and it's busy, you can still talk to them a little bit. Like when I go to Boxers, even though it's busy, I still have one-on-one time with the bartender.
You still have time to let the bartender know that you follow him on OnlyFans.
That's correct. Which I found out a new bartender, not a new bartender, but a bartender at Boxers also has an OnlyFans. I didn't know about that in the past.
Living the Vida Loca.
Yes, I went through all of his work. 170 videos.
You were busy.
So my privates look like roast beef. So as a bartender is making you a drink, they can be like, how's your day? What's going on? What are you doing this weekend? But handing you a can of Fresca takes 2 seconds. So there was no like meet and greet portion of the event. So if I cared about Bravo or Andy Cohen, I would have been pissed. Or if it was like a housewife. If that was a Kyle Richards meet and greet, if that was a Ashley Darby meet and greet, and all she did was hand me a can of soda, I would be pissed.
It's not actually a meet and greet. Andy is there being a bar back, essentially.
Yeah, truly.
Which we talked about this a little bit in Monday's episode, but I still am of the mindset that like if I were Andy Cohen and I had a late night show for this long and this is where my career has taken me, where I am handing no offense, but this random guy a Fresca and calling it a day, and now he can't get coked up anymore beforehand because of all the allegations, I would be so upset.
Well, you keep saying that, but I don't think that means anything to him. He was very happy to be handing out those cans, but
Okay.
I don't care about Andy Cohen. And that was another bad part about it, is that everyone wanted to meet Andy Cohen because I'm the outlier here. So everyone else that was there wanted to meet him. So they all flocked to that one area of the bar. So not only could you not meet Andy Cohen, you could not get a drink either because they were all there. So then I said, you know what? I don't give a fuck about Andy Cohen. So I went to the other area of the bar where the actual bartenders were just hanging out, leaning against the wall because they had nothing to do.
That must have been the greatest night of work for them.
I'm sure it was.
I hope they split tips.
Well, I tipped one $15 right off the bat so that she always came back to me. So with my purpose of being there to be getting drunk on Frescas, I did. So I had a wonderful time.
I love that you have gone to so many Fresca events. I really do think that you're a Fresca fuckboy, and I love that journey for you.
First of all, I love Fresca. I love it with or without alcohol in it. If they ever sponsor us, I will shit myself.
So Fresca, you heard it. You heard it here first. If you want Donny to poop in those pantaloons, you can sponsor us. But I will say, I have legitimately heard Donny off the mic, not being recorded, go on a 5 to 7 minute rant about how much he loves Fresca and how happy he is for them to be entering the alcohol space. So this isn't a bit. He really does love Fresca.
I love Fresca. And I want to, I already lost my Bravo. I wonder why. I just spent 5 minutes saying I fucking hate Andy Cohen. I lost all Bravo contacts. But Fresca still has me on their contact list. So I make sure every time, whether I can go to the event or not, to send them a very nice email after saying like, this week I was there. So I was like, I had a wonderful time. Thank you so much for thinking of me. Can't wait for the next one. Because then it puts it in their head, oh, if I don't invite him, I'm an asshole.
Smart. Manipulation.
Thank you.
Love that.
It always works. Yeah. And like I hung out with Tom and Kix and Kendrick and Nora too, but that was the important part.
I was so jealous of your hangout with Tom and Kix and Kendrick. I had such FOMO.
I know you did, and I'm sorry about that.
I know.
Next time. But the good news for you is they taught me how to play pool. So now you won't need to teach me. You can just play with me.
Why do you assume that I know how to play pool?
You played already.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I played pool all weekend when we went to the Poconos.
And I didn't. I stayed up in the trauma bonding loft because I don't know how to play pool, and I refuse to do things I don't know how to do.
Well, you could have been dancing. We were also listening to music.
I know, but then it's a slippery slope if there's a pool table there. Because then people always want you to play, which is what happened this fucking Friday. People want you to play if there's a pool table. So as soon as we got to the bar and I saw the pool table in the corner, I said, please, let's sit at the bar. Yes, so the shirtless bartenders are in my face, but also to be as far away from those things as possible. But then after we did 4 rounds each, then they were like, let's play pool. And I was like, oh my God. So I said, I'll watch you guys. I'll watch you. So I went in the back, and then they wanted to play doubles or whatever it's called, 2-on-2. Nor wasn't there yet, so they needed me to play. And I was like, there's all these hot guys. Just pick one. One of them can be Kendrick's partner. That's how he'll meet someone. He'll go home with them. It'll be lovely. And then they were like, no, Donny, we want it to be you. So I was nervous at first, but they don't care about it. I care about that I'm not good. So, Kix took out that beginner's thing with the little claw and then, helped me and told me where exactly they would aim it at. That was all very cute until we were about halfway through, because then people saw people playing pool, and then they wanted to sign up for who's next and stuff. So then they stood around, and that's when I almost shit myself. But I was surprisingly good.
I could see that.
But delete this episode, because not right away. You can let it simmer for a little bit. But then you have to delete it when I get on Big Brother, because I want my strategy to be I don't know how to play, because then it's a twofer. One, it makes me look like I don't know what I'm doing, and then other people can be like, oh, let me teach this big dummy. But then 2, I'm going to make sure the person that teaches me is the hot straight guy.
No, I'm going to keep this episode, because then when Kendrick and I are covering the Big Brother season on the Patreon, I'll say, go back. This is all a ploy. Donny said he was going to do this, and look at him go. Because I don't think, no offense, but I don't think, unless that's the twist, but I don't think there's going to be a Patreon subscriber in the Big Brother house with me.
That's true. What if it's all cuties and me? All short-haired cuties.
You don't get evicted. You get murdered. But that would be a great twist, that it's like a super fan that knows everything about you. So you try to lie, and they're like, nope, in episode 4, you talked about your roast beef privates. I know.
My stomach just lurched against the side of my body.
Okay, well, in addition to all of that, Donny's big week and me painting doors, this week also brought us a pause for Summer House, Martha's Vineyard, more attacks from the Cannes security guard, another billionaire planning to visit the Titanic, a moment of silence for Nicki Minaj's dear friend, Princess Diana, and Northwest's stage debut in The Lion King. And somehow we've made it to Friday yet again.
We have. And cuties, we actually talked about Northwest in The Lion King on our Patreon episode earlier this week. You can listen to our thoughts on Northwest in The Lion King there.
Mm-hmm. The Princess Diana shout out is very passions coded. season 1 of Passions when Princess Diana comes back, let's not forget, from the grave.
That's true. But at least Sheridan Crane was around Princess Diana's age. Like, for Nicki Minaj to have been Princess Diana's not even dear friend, just an acquaintance, Nicki Minaj would have been about 14 years old.
But sometimes I feel like teenagers do hype up a relationship they have with an adult, and then you look back and you're like, oh, they were my tutor. They were paid to hang out with me. That wasn't my friend.
Well, first of all, they could be both.
This is a light bulb moment for Donny. He's really circling back to a lot of former friendships. But I also want to be clear, I don't think that Lady Di was tutoring Nicki Minaj. But you never know.
You never do know.
It's been a minute, but I do want to give a quick Charlotte the Stingray update.
Oh.
The bitch is still pregnant. And now things are getting really weird. Because the aquarium has now started calling the cops on people who ask about her and ask too many questions. So I'm going to link in the show notes, I'm going to link the article called What is Really Going On with Charlotte by Emily Cantanillo. Marine biologists this whole time have been like, this is bullshit. This isn't real. A stingray cannot mate with a shark. And my favorite quote from a marine biologist is from this marine biologist, David Schiffman, who says, sharks and rays are separated by as many millions of years of evolution as humans and snakes. If a human tried to mate with an anaconda, a lot of things would probably happen, but one of those things would not be a half human, half anaconda baby. So the science community started getting blocked. This reporter decided, okay, enough is enough. They said the stingray was going to have its baby in March. It is now the end of May. What's going on? She went and did some boots on the ground journalism. So she went to this aquarium, and I think you would love it, Donny. I think maybe your next birthday party should be there because it basically sounds like the Rainforest Cafe. She says the walls of this aquarium were lined with unlabeled tanks full of tropical fish and coral, along with fun facts and a kind of ocean kitsch you might see at a beach restaurant. Nets, buoys, a weathered sign stating always be yourself unless you can be a mermaid. So just to set the scene of this aquarium. So then she gets approached by a police officer who starts asking her questions. So they did let her know that the lead aquarian person wanted them to book her for trespassing. And the police said they weren't going to charge her with anything and that I looked sweet, but if I went back to the aquarium, they would have no choice but to arrest me.
What?
So what the fuck is going on? She ends her article by saying, this was my second dust-up with police in 15 years of journalism. The last one was reporting on neo-Nazis in Germany. This one was about a stingray. What is going on with Charlotte?
I have no words.
And if they're faking this pregnancy, what's their long game?
Right.
At some point, a shark baby is going to have to come out.
Are there males in the tank now?
No, still no males in the tank,
okay.
But there is a shark that like shares the tank.
Well, I know that's how it started, but I wonder if this is like season 1 of Glee, where she faked the pregnancy and then hoped she got pregnant so she could just say that was it. Like, what if they snuck a male in to get her pregnant and now they're just waiting for her to give birth?
Oh, yeah.
What if they did put a male one in, but he's just as shallow as I am, and Charlotte is an ugly stingray? So what if he's fucking all the other ones?
Bite marks. He's not into scars.
Wow.
And then he gets into a relationship with the shark.
Oh, a gay one.
Uh-huh. Drama, drama, drama.
There's bites on him, yeah. Which, by the way, speaking of gay animals, National Geographic, they're coming out with a gay animal documentary all about gay animals. So I think that's going to be the next thing I watch.
Oh, it has to be.
Yeah.
You got to get that Steve Irwin khaki suit.
Oh, I do have to. Just so I can call different animals gay slurs.
You'll be like the Pope.
Yeah. Did you hear how you pronounce it? Fagocino. That is hot.
I guess it would be the world we're living in that the Pope has to issue a public apology for using a slur.
But then he said he didn't know it was a slur.
Our very own Mark Wahlberg. See, that's why popes and priests should be allowed to have families, because if he had a daughter like Mark Wahlberg did to slide a note under his door to let him know that he should stop using slurs, maybe we wouldn't be in this situation, you know?
You're right.
Hashtag never forget that Mark Wahlberg was arrested for several hate crimes. Anyway, so speaking of people getting kicked out of places, Bethenny Frankel is at it again. because she has quite literally nothing better to do, she took to her social media screaming, as she always does, and cosplayed Pretty Woman. So she was turned away from a Chanel store in Chicago, and she says the employee said that she needed to make an appointment, but she suspects it's because she was wearing a t-shirt. And I would argue that maybe it's because they didn't want like a Halloween decoration come to life, foaming at the mouth in their store, filming them and yelling at them about cheater brands. Like maybe you're the problem, Bethenny. Maybe they kicked you out because they're like, this bitch.
I'm sure it is.
Or maybe she needed an appointment.
Right. That's probably it. Because this is a woman, whether you want to or not, you do know who she is. Like if we won the lottery tomorrow, it's not like you secretly have money, but people think you're from the wrong side of the tracks. We know you're Bethenny Frankel. Also, Chanel makes t-shirts sometimes.
Yeah.
Like there are like $400 t-shirts. I don't think you being in a t-shirt is what it is.
Yeah. Now, it does depend, like, what Bethenny Frankel were they getting? She said she wore a t-shirt. She said she had just gotten off a plane and was sweaty. But, like, is this Bethenny with a skinny girl bottle shaking because she's about to tell Luann it's about Tom? Is this Bethenny chomping on that crab leg on TikTok? Like, there are some versions of Bethenny that is a jump scare.
I think crab leg Bethenny is the only Bethenny that exists now.
I think she's descended into madness. I think there was that one post where she's like, well, I can't get my content out. I guess I have to start making reels. They tell me reels are the thing to get people to see my content. And then somehow we're now in a Black Mirror episode where Bethenny Frankel is now this version of herself. But she says that she was treated like an interloper and was surprised that she couldn't just walk into the store. So of course it's Bethenny, so we can't just end it here. No. The next day, she dressed up in a fancy black dress and heels and went back to the store. And at this point, she was allowed in, but quickly exited as it was simply an experiment she was conducting. And she says, there are several ways to convey a message, but this was rudeness and elitist and exclusionary, which is also a crime. In business, first impressions are lasting. Why don't we take our own advice, Bethenny?
And she made 17 posts about this.
17. Yeah, and so of course now she's being called tone deaf because, to quote Kourtney Kardashian, Kim, there's people dying. But she cannot ever just stop. She really does become crazed about things.
Yeah.
Like she's out there being like, big mistake, huge. Like in her mind, she is Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman.
Right, in her mind. You, Sid, are no Julia Roberts. And that is why I thought her reality show, whatever it was called, The Big Deal or whatever it was called, I thought it was going to be good. But it was just so boring. I need Bethenny now to come up with that concept and make it again.
I think the problem is she doesn't realize that this could be a bit. Like she doesn't realize that she could be in on the joke and acknowledge that this is absolutely unhinged and embarrassing behavior. But in her mind, she is like doing the Lord's work. She is a humanitarian, and her not being allowed in this store is hashtag this is a crisis. And she has so much to say about store conduct and how people are treated. And I just cannot wait for that first whistleblower in the Skinny Girl brand company. Because that documentary is going to be juicy.
I know. I hope it's amoxicillin or whatever her name was that won that TV show, because that will be the full circle we needed for that show to be good. Malaxi, that's her name.
Godspeed to Malaxi. But the last thing I will say about this is that now, because that's not even the end. I wish it was. Now, Bethenny is on her Instagram pretending to get a tattoo. So she goes to this tattoo shop. And then she says that she's going to get something meaningful. And she had the tattoo artist, like, draw on a Chanel logo.
What?
Bethenny's energy, like, she is that annoying kid who will get attention by any means necessary.
Yeah.
And at this point, like, just go build a fort and read in your room quietly, Bethenny. Just take a minute, take a beat.
Unless I wonder if she's paid by Meta and views count.
She's absolutely paid by Meta, but she owns Skinny Girl.
Yeah, but you get in this weird, we just talked about it with Andy Cohen earlier. Money is money. It all spends the same. It doesn't matter whether you get it from Skinny Girl or making 18 videos about you hating Chanel. Money all spends in the same places.
That's
so if
true.
I have to serve a can to a couple faggots and then film Watch What Happens Live,
can you please
I'm going to do
use
both.
the Italian pronunciation of that?
I don't think Andy Cohen deserves that, but I will do it anyway. If I have to serve Fresca to a few fagocinos and then film Watch What Happens Live, that's all money.
That's true. And maybe money and power are king, and they will do what it takes to get both. That's fine. All right, sure. Some people, I do think there should be a hierarchy. And once you ascend to a certain level, like, that's great. Money is money. Meta's paying you for your reels. You go after that bonus program, Bethenny. You do that. But I think, like, the way that she just prostrates herself, is that the right phrase? The way she essentially just digitally spreads her butt cheeks and shows her butthole, and it's not in an OnlyFans way. It's in a, like, derogatory, like, do what you want with me, I'm here to get money type of way. I think just have some, like, values and morals and some self-respect. Go to sleep, Bethenny.
I get it. Kind of. I just hate how long it takes to make reels. If I had a team where I could say, like, Maloxy, turn this camera on and pretend to give me a tattoo, then I would have 18 reels a day as well.
This is the other thing. I do have to acknowledge I am a fucking hypocrite, because if you look at my stories on any given day, it is a cry for help. I am 2 dashes away at the top of my stories from being institutionalized myself. I recognize that. So maybe it is a you see in others what you hate about yourself type of situation. But I also should go to sleep, I think.
Maybe, sometimes.
From time to time.
And you'll tell us good night and then stay awake for 3 hours making 18 more stories.
There we go. So maybe I'm just mad that I didn't capitalize off of being turned away by Chanel, because I think I could show up to any Chanel and I would not be let in the doors.
Cuties who are not Bravo fans, I do apologize. We started with Andy Cohen, went to Bethenny Frankel. Now I need to talk about the Traitors cast, which isn't Bravo, but it was rumored that Monique Samuels would be on it, and I had a party. But then she made a post saying she loves the show, but the rumors are not true. 100% she's not going to be on the show. So then the Neighborhood Watch, the Instagram account, reported that she was supposed to be on, and Candace was going to be on too, and they both signed it and said yes, but Candace backed out because of her pregnancy now. So she doesn't want any, like, drama to affect that, which I get. I didn't mean to eye roll when I said it, because I do get it. My empathy goes far. My love for drama goes farther.
Okay, well, at least you're honest about it. So then that's hilarious. Did they let Monique go then because they only wanted her if they had Candace? And I don't want to bring back the discourse from that Potomac season, but I think it is so funny that Monique will forever be tied to Candace. She had that burn book, and it was a big old flop.
No. That text from Giselle?
I don't even remember. What was it?
You do remember. It was from Pastor Holy Whore to that other woman. And then Giselle tried to act like it wasn't him. And Monique said, I have the number. And she read it out loud. And she said, is that his number? And Andy said, is that his number? And then Giselle said, that's his number. That's good.
Candace would be brilliant on Traitors.
I do think Candace would be brilliant on Traitors. I don't think, if we're trying to make a cast as iconic as season 2, I do think bringing in pairs is the key. Like, CT and Trishelle had a pass. Sandra and Parvati had a pass. Dan and Janelle had a pass. So I think Candace and Monique would have been brilliant. I think Candace by herself would have been good on the Traitors, but, like, we need that drama there.
That's fair. Yeah.
Get it? Now, with all that said, I don't know what the fuck's going on, because the Neighborhood Watch also reported, since Candace and Monique can't do it, Robin is going to be on instead. And then that just wipes away anything I've just said the past 2 minutes.
Yeah, what is she going to do?
Right. Just say how bored she is. The only thing that would make me watch this is if it was Robin Dixon and the woman Juan paid a hotel room for.
Or Robin and Juan.
Oh,
the way they did Larsa and Michael Jordan's son.
That's true.
And Michael Darby.
Perfect. And we need to make Juan a traitor and not Robin, because I think he would have no loyalty to her.
He would kill her first episode. He'd be like, thank God, a vacation from this woman that I've married the second time.
So besides them, Chloe from Dance Moms posted a photo this weekend, and my stomach dropped because it was like at the Traitors castle. She had a Traitors lanyard. I was like, what is going on? Because I do love Chloe. I do love Dance Moms. But if we're casting someone from Dance Moms, it should be an adult, first of all. Mm-hmm. And then if we are casting a child, I think it should be Maddie.
You don't think JoJo Siwa?
I think it would be JoJo Siwa. Mm-hmm. But all of that is fake anyway, because there was some influencer event in the castle this weekend where they got to play the Traitors, and Chloe was invited to that. So, great.
Okay. Phew.
Thank God. Now, since we're talking about casting, I started with the Traitors. Now I want to talk about Knives Out 3. Have you seen either of the first two?
I think so.
Oh, God. Not only are you face blind, now you just don't know what movies you see?
Well, I think that I have seen Knives Out. Remind me what it's about.
It's a murder mystery where they're all in like a rich people cottage.
Yes, I have seen this. Yes.
Okay, perfect. And then the second one is at like a beach resort.
I have not seen the second one. I saw the first one.
The second one, Twitter is saying now it was not good. But when it was out, everyone was saying how brilliant it was. So Twitter just likes to flip-flop on things. But I'm not flip-flopping. I love the second one. Kate Hudson's in it.
Wait, is Knives Out 2? That was the Glass Onion
Glass
one.
Onion,
I
yeah.
did watch that. I've watched all
Oh, yeah,
these.
that's
Look at
Knives
me.
Out, too.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Knives Out 3 is called Wake Up Dead Man. And Josh O'Connor from The Challengers, one of the big-eared boys, he's in it. And then the girl who played Priscilla Presley in the Priscilla movie, she's in it. Tom Hardy's in it. And Lindsay Lohan.
Our queen, our comeback queen herself. Okay, I will definitely be watching that.
I would watch it no matter the cast, but I need Keke Palmer in it as well. And then it will be my favorite movie of all time. Did you like Glass Onion?
I did. Any murder mystery I really like.
Oh, you even like that Tina Fey one, don't you?
Yeah, I loved that one too.
That is the one that I couldn't get into because I felt like it was so much less budget than the other two. We had Murder on the Nile, and then we had Murder on the Orient Express, and then suddenly we're just at like the back room as we do a seance.
I liked it.
That could have been filmed on a green screen. I'm over it.
Okay. Well, good heavens. Well, I will be watching Knives Out 3.
Perfect. That Tina Fey movie is not my cutie of the week. Let's get to our real cutie of the week.
Okay, you can go first.
Okay, so my cutie of the week is Slutty Shorts. Yeah. So GQ has reported that 2024 is the summer of slutty menswear. And there's like this whole article about it if you want to go and look at a picture of slutty menswear yourself. But Nike is selling basketball shorts with a 3-inch inseam.
Huh.
I can't wait.
I do believe in the power of manifestation, and I think that you have created this. You asked, you believed, and you're receiving.
Oh, so yes, I am slutty. So I will be looking. I want to see men in this, of course. I did manifest that. But I'm going to buy some for myself
I
as
assumed
well.
so. I think you should.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to.
Get some sun on those thighs.
I know. I'm thinking about how I can wear them today.
Okay. Well, my cutie of the week is South Park. I know that you love when I reference South Park each and every week, but I just watched their Ozempic episode and it was perfection from H to T. Somehow they covered the nuance of it. They covered the hilarity of it. They covered the bullshit of insurance with it. And I just encourage everybody, there's a little show called South Park and I think you should watch it. So not to end this episode on a serious note after spending the last 40 minutes talking about God knows what we talked about, Donny's upcoming creamy thighs this summer. But you and I have talked, Donny, and it is starting to feel a little bit weird for us to come on here and laugh about dumb, vapid nonsense every week without also acknowledging that, you know, the world is burning. So escapism is important, and we've already told you we are not CNN, we are shit in the streets. But I wanted to take a minute to highlight 2 organizations that you can donate to if you are feeling, like me, a little overwhelmed and not really knowing where to begin. So the first one is Together Rising, and they use boots on the ground partners operating in places of conflict to provide humanitarian relief to women and children. And then the second organization is Save the Children, which, side note, not related to Wayfair or the Sound of Freedom or Gretchen Rossi's misspelled protest sign. Just want to put that out there. But Save the Children has a fundraiser to provide medical aid, food, and essentials to children living in Gaza and other conflict zones around the world. So I just wanted to put that out there. our brand of chaos is not changing, but we can walk and chew gum at the same time. So anyway, back to our regularly scheduled bullshit. Hit him with a Patreon plug, Donnie.
Sure. So you can follow us on Patreon at patreon.com/IamTheCuteOne. That is in the show notes. Right now we are covering the comeback. We're about halfway through our recap, but we brainstormed other ideas for the Patreon that we will be doing after that. So.
And Patreon cuties know we are always open to suggestions. So if you have something you want us to recap or talk about, let us know. If you're a Patreon cutie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We don't listen to anybody else.
Like Bethenny Frankel, we got to get our coin.
And also, our YouTube channel is also in the show notes. So go ahead, click that, like, and subscribe so that we can get coin from YouTube. That will be our Chanel. On Monday, we will be covering Wedding Crashers on the main feed because Coachella has begun.
Coachella 2024. Boo, boo, boo.
And on that note, we will talk to you later. Love you like a sister.
Bye.
Bye.